Working out how much you're going to charge for your video services is really important from day one, because basically you want to start as you mean to go on, and you want to set your tone for your whole business. And if you start going in early on not charging what you should be, it becomes harder to just start incrementally putting that up, especially once you get returning clients who are used to what you charged initially. So I think it's really important to just sit down, spend a bit of time working out what that number is and how you're going to approach it before you start doing any shooting for clients. So first of all, how do I do it? Well, I will always recommend, and I've always done this, is charging a day rate. So just working out your day rate, and that tells clients exactly how much it costs to get you to come along and do your thing for them. And one of the great things, well, there's a few great things actually about this method. And basically what it does is it gives a bit of transparency to the client. It lets them know, okay, we're getting him to come and do his thing. So we know how much that costs now. There's no kind of like, oh, I'm going to change it because I'm only doing this and this, or I'm only shooting on one camera, or I'm not doing so. It's like, that is the day rate. It protects your time, because if you agree to make a film for a client and you say, I'll make a film for you for £1,000, and then you end up doing 3 days of shooting and they want to include this and this, it becomes a bit more awkward to start saying, well, I'm going to have to add a bit more onto the bill. So a day rate will completely solve that problem. And the other thing is, it just kind of generally manages expectations within clients. You know, they know how much it costs, and it's their decision if they want to take you on again for another day. And you know, if a client comes to you after you've told them your day rate and say, we want you to come and shoot another day, then you know that they are willing to pay another day, because they know that you've got a day rate. It's not just a bundle for a film or a service of whatever kind. So the important thing about day rates as well is we have a shooting day rate. Well, this is what I do, a shoot day rate. And then we have an edit day rate. And then because of the nature of some of the jobs that we do, like, you know, if we're filming at a salon or a bakery or something like that, quite often you'll only be there for like maybe 2-3 hours. And so it might become a bit weird to start charging a full day rate for that. But remember a few things. First of all, you have to travel to that place and you have to travel home. You also have to pack your bag. Usually we kind of just do that for free, but setting up all your kit, charging all your batteries, working out what you're going to need, that takes time. It's usually something that I just imagine is bundled in to my day rate. But if you think that you might be able to leave your office in the morning or your house, go there, shoot the thing, come back, drop all the kit off, and you won't have spent more than 5 hours, then that could be a half day rate. But please do not make your half day rate exactly half mathematically of your full day rate, because the chances of they've booked you for the day, they've taken a day off you. So the chances, you know, theoretically you could have another job that afternoon, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim. So say your day rate was 600, your half day rate should be 400 or 450, because it's almost like it's a token thing. You're not getting the full day, so I'm not going to charge you the full rate, but I'm also not going to screw myself over. So now let's get into picking that number. So just to be clear, and I'm not coy about money or anything, but I'm not going to just say charge what I charge, or I'm not going to tell you even what I charge, because everyone has a different setting, a different rate that they will sit at. And I think basically what you need to do is think about how much you want to charge, how much you need to charge for this to be a sustainable business. And you know, you want to think, first of all, I would say immediately think of a number, and then you're going to shoot higher than that, because actually we will always, especially when we're starting out, we will always undervalue what we do. But you have to remember a lot of different factors that come into this day rate. We're not getting a yearly salary. So we might think, it's weird, the guy who is hiring me, he's looking at my day rate thinking, that guy's getting paid more than me. But the guy who's hiring you has a pension, he has a, you know, holiday pay, he has all these kind of benefits that you don't have. You also have to consider a few other things. First of all, the value of your kit. That has to be factored into all that. So the more kit you buy, the more is coming out of that day rate. So choose wisely when you do go for it, because that is essentially going to be bundled in with there, and you don't just want to add the kit in for free, right? So I would always say, mention the kit when you give your day rate. And so factor that in, and also factor in tax, because you're self-employed, you're a sole trader, you have to pay your tax. So in the UK, we have to pay 20% tax up to a certain level. So I always start off by thinking, that's my day rate, take 20% off of that, that's what I'm actually making. And it suddenly starts to feel like not that much, because it literally isn't as much. So something really to consider before you set that number. Now, once you've come up with that number and you've set your half day rate and your edit day rate, how do we tell clients this without feeling awkward? Because there's a weird thing here, it comes of like sales. It's a bit salesy, like we have to say, you know what's coming, they're going to ask how much it costs, and you're sitting thinking, oh my God, they're going to say, what? I'm not paying that. But listen, like, don't be shy. This is how business works. These people have a budget, they know that they need something, and they know that you are the person that does this for a living. So if they don't respect what you tell them, unless you're coming up with a ridiculous number, then you don't want to be working with that person. If they don't value what you do, then you don't want part of that, trust me. I've done jobs before where I've pitched for jobs and I've really, really wanted to do it because I thought it would be a certain thing, and they've haggled me down, and then I've ended up going for like half my day rate or whatever, and then the job doesn't turn out to be what I want. And I'll tell you another thing about clients. As soon as they bargain a deal with you and they get you to, take 30% off your day rate or whatever, as soon as that transaction is over, they forget that, and then they start expecting that full service again. So don't give discounts. Don't, unless, the circumstances are, unless there's going to be a contract in place that is signing you up for consistent work, do not give discounts. It's not worth it. It really isn't. You will regret it most times. It's very rare. Unless you're doing, I do music videos and stuff for very reduced rates because I want to try creative cinematography things, or, I want a showreel shot, one shot, that if I can get one shot from a showreel out of this thing, then it's worth doing it for free or doing it for cheap, right? But when we're talking about like pitching to clients, there's a fee, and set that fee. And if that fee is high, that adds value. If you tell them a high figure, they know that you're confident in what you do, and they will subconsciously assume that what you do is valuable. So do not undervalue yourself from day one. And when it comes to your calls with the clients, and when you've sort of established that they need video and that you're the person to do it, try and get as much of the conversation out, this is what I do anyway, before it comes to money, because you want them to have made up their mind, and then when you tell them how much it costs, then we get into, they might say, oh, that's a bit expensive, but now they know that they need what you're selling. So either they'll make it work, or they'll ask if they can come in at a different, That's another reason why you should go like higher than you think, because if there is a company that you really want to work for because you want some beautiful sourdough baking time lapses or something on your showreel or whatever, if you go a wee bit higher, you can afford to knock 10% off if it's something that you want to have on your showreel or something you want to do. But we're not just going to give big discounts willy-nilly because we need work, because honestly it's not worth it. So, but buy yourself in a little bit of flexibility. So because you're the business owner, you can make the calls on the spot, but just make them, be very reserved about it all. And there's a whole other thing that we could get into here. I'm not going to go into it in this particular video, but there are price packages and packages that we can offer that offer, one promo video and 3 pieces of social content, this price, I'm going to go into that in more detail in this whole other video, and I'm going to go over all that in my course as well. This is a really good way to try and get residual income from companies that you like working with, retainers and things like that, which offers a bit more security. But at the moment, we're just out here trying to find some clients and trying to make some money. And if you follow this day rate rule, I think you're setting yourself off for a really good start. So just remember, when you're starting out, it is really difficult to charge a high amount, right? But you're setting the tone for how you move forward, and that is so important psychologically as well. If you're someone that can get someone to pay for that and then they're happy with it, the first time you do it, you'll go, right, I am worth whatever per day. And then you can move forward from there. So look, if this has been helpful and you want to learn a wee bit more about this, I'm going to go into further detail as I mentioned, so subscribe below. I can't believe I said that. I wasn't going to ask anyone to subscribe. It's up to you. You don't have to subscribe. Just look out for me. Come back. Whatever you want. It's completely up to you. But either way, I appreciate it if you're still sitting here now listening to me ramble for 10 minutes or whatever it was. And I hope that this has given you a little bit of confidence to go out there and to, book a client and charge them some money.